And here's what's happening today. A sexually violent predator is still in custody after a judge denied his immediate release last month.
It was January of last year. 66-year-old William Stephenson was approved for conditional release in Placer County. That was as long as the Department of State Hospitals and supervising entity Liberty Healthcare found him adequate housing with monitoring and continued treatment. That hasn't happened yet, and until it does happen, the judge overseeing his case is pumping the brakes on letting him out. ABC 10's Bridget Biorlo joins us live from Auburn this morning. A community meeting will be held discussing Stephenson's next step. So, Bridget, where is all this, and what do you think is going to happen this morning?
Well, Walt, here in Auburn, we are expecting to see a packed room of people who are very concerned about where this sexually violent predator will be moving to upon his release. And a judge made it very clear that a release is happening. It's just a matter of when and where. Here's a look back at what that judge decided last month by temporarily deciding to hold William Stephenson in custody for a bit longer. He says in the interest of public safety.
More than 200 people put their concerns on paper over the potential release of sexually violent predator William Stephenson, writing letters to Superior Court Judge Garen Horst to keep the repeat offender in custody at the Department of State Hospitals.
The number one priority in this entire process is public safety, and the Placer County community has spoken loudly.
Before a packed courtroom September 1st, Judge Horst upheld his January 2022 decision for Stephenson's conditional release, but vowed to not set him free until proper safeguards are in place, instructing supervising entity Liberty Healthcare to explore a possible location in Placer County where Stephenson can reside in a parked RV, be closely monitored, and still receive treatment.
It's not ideal. Mr. Stephenson's release needs to be to a secure facility. I'm skeptical that a RV on a piece of property will fulfill all of the requirements necessary to monitor his safety and to set him up for success with his treatment. So until a location satisfies all that, we won't agree to any specific location or his release at all.
The site being considered would come with an address made public to the community, similar to Stephenson's first release from custody in 2014. Bonnie Gore remembers it well. Stephenson lived in her neighborhood.
Our neighbors were furious about having Mr. Stephenson released into our neighborhood back then. And the one thing I did realize is that because we knew where he lived, every neighbor in my community knew where he lived and where he was, and so everyone was watching.
The latest proposal comes after over 1,200 failed plans by Liberty, which has spent the past 18 months searching for adequate housing for Stephenson. His attorney arguing in court that delaying his client's release any further violates his right to due process.
We're thinking too much about his rights. What about his survivors?
As the court tries to strike a balance between following the law and protecting victims.
And many people you talk to about this case in Placer County, they say they're very angry with Liberty Healthcare for not including the public enough in this process as they decide the placement of this sexually violent predator. And the community says they're the ones that are going to feel the impact if he were to reoffend, as he has in the past when he was last released in 2014. So the judge, Walt, he ordered Liberty to hold more of these community meetings to make sure neighbors felt that their voices were heard. Hopefully they'll come to a decision. But right now they're looking at a lot on someone's home in a remote area. He'll be in an immobile RV. He'll be monitored with that ankle device and also receive treatment. But we are waiting to learn the address because, as you've noted in the past, Walt, Placer County is a big county and people want to know where he's going to be.
Yeah, there's Roseville, Auburn, Lincoln. There's a lot of big towns and cities in Placer County, but there's also a whole lot of rural Placer County. Is that an option, is to put Mr. Stephenson well away from the people who are concerned about him in a trailer, essentially in the middle of nowhere?
They want a rural area, well, because last time he was placed in Roseville in 2014, he reoffended 3 years later when he was caught with child sex abuse materials. So that didn't work. Now they're looking at a rural place, but every location that was proposed has been knocked down. Liberty says because the public pressure that was placed on these homeowners, the homeowners just threw their hands up and said, I don't want to deal with this. So we'll see if they can come together and come up with a solution.
Yeah, everybody needs a solution on this. It's been going on for a long time. Bridget, thank you.